Looking here at MS Project, one wonders whether one could do a cost to benefit analysis. And I think over time one can develop a customized system whereby one can, but a lot needs to be done before that happens. Furthermore, one can actually export the stuff into Excel and do a more detailed analysis over there. So what I would recommend is that simply in your entry table that you would create an extra field which is going to be called a benefit. Now remember, we are going to be not using the cost field that exists already. We're going to be using cost one. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set up custom fields and rename this benefit. All right, so there we've renamed it benefit. We're going to make sure that we do a roll up. Okay, one could use a formula for that. Okay, but that's just going to add up the, as it does with the normal cost field, add up the different tasks. So over here we have benefit over there. Now let's go and add the cost just to make a comparison, and let's assume we have in fact worked out elsewhere what the benefit was. All right, so here's some advice. Don't do it for the project summary task or the phases, just do it for the tasks. So for the benefit on that particular task, let's say there was a 2000 benefit, all right, and 2345, okay, 0. So that's a significant benefit. All right, that one, there was a 1200 benefit. As I said, this is very basic, but one wants to look at the extent to which one can compare them in reports. And here we have a 345 benefit. Okay, I'm just picking out random numbers out of my head, thumb sucking them, and let's go 5,000 over there. Remember, I'm not doing it for the phases. Okay, 12,000 over there. So there's general benefit all around. Let's make one lower. So let's make that one 3,000. Okay, so it's not a benefit, it's a loss. All right, and there, here we have 20,000. All right, very basic, yes, but it'll be nice when it comes up in the report, and then when we start studying it in Excel on the snag over there, 2,345. There we go. All right, now here's the point. You've created this extra benefit. I'm going to suggest furthermore that you create a couple of text fields. Well, one in particular. Let's go text. Okay, and go to text one. And let's call this the phase. You'll see the value of this when we export into Microsoft Excel. We're going to rename this the phase field. Okay, and we're just going to do a bit of duplication here. Don't do it for this project summary task or the phases. Just call this, so that these tasks over here are phase one. So I'm just going to type there phase one. I'm simply transposing the data, you see. So because when I import it into Excel, Excel will benefit from this, or you'll benefit from Excel benefiting from this. Okay, so phase two. Okay, one can do, of course, do the autofill there. All right. There we go. And here's phase three. All right, so we've now added that as well. That's for later. You'll see when we import the data into Excel. All right, it's a bit of duplication, but it makes sense later. Now let's go and look at our report. Okay, comparing the cost and the benefit. It is unfortunate, I haven't worked out a way yet that we can do a benefit and cost cumulative comparison as in an S-curve. That would be really cool, but let's have a look at this. So let's go to a new report over here and one with a chart. We'll call this CBA. Okay, CBA chart. There we go. All right. Now, here's it's given us a dummy chart. We're going to change that radically. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to spread this down to multiple levels. All right, we can try, of course, with time later, but multiple levels. Okay. All right, and then I'm going to change this to a line chart. Okay, so that's okay, but it's calculating work at this point. So I want to turn my work fields off. So work, remaining work, actual work, so it all goes off. And I'm going to go to cost here. Okay, all right, and I'm going to put in the standard cost. And then I'm going to put in my customized one, which was in fact the benefit one, if you recall. There we go. So there's the comparison across the different tasks, okay, for the different costs. So there's my benefit, clearly great benefit over there and cost over there. Very basic way of doing that. Okay, really, really important that we're able to do that. Unfortunately, if you create a, let's just copy that, Control C, Control V. So we've created the separate chart over here. Unfortunately, all right, oh dear. Okay, all right. Clicking and moving in charts is notoriously difficult, but let's just keep that one open there. The other one is behind it, as you can see there. Let's keep that one there. And if we try and adjust the tasks, sorry, the axis, and we format the axis, okay, and the axis would be in terms of the date, all right, so we change the date to the time over here, so there's the time. Now we're not allowed to put our specialized field in. I've still got to work on a way of doing that. Okay, all right. So that's one way of doing it. Now let's go and look at how we can manipulate this in Microsoft Excel to look at more detail. So I've created these extra columns here. If I were to select all of these, okay, you can then, if you wanted to, you could filter out the summary tasks, but I'm not going to bother with that right now. I'm just going to copy paste this straight into Microsoft Excel, and let's see what we can do with that over there. All right, let me pull that onto the screen from the alternative screen. Let's just wait for it to open. I've got lots of add-ins with regard to Excel. All right, I'm using a project 2013, even though I do have 2021, but I'm using Excel 2021. All right, there we go, and Microsoft Excel. So Control V, there we go, it's in. We could link it, of course, but then that does include a couple of errors sometimes. Okay, now let me just get rid of these. I mean, let me just auto size these. Okay, so let's go there to auto size those, and let's auto widen that. So we're in Microsoft Excel over there. Now here's the thing. I'm going to select the summary tasks, non-contiguous selection, and I'm going to simply delete them. All right. So we're going to delete those. There we go. So we just have our tasks. Now, because I have this column over here, phase, this is really cool. Now I can generate a pivot table and generate slices. So let's go insert to the pivot table over here. And we've chosen our whole thing on a new sheet. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, the one thing I did forget was to change the date format. Okay, let's just go back to sheet 1 here. Just make sure the date format is date format. I don't know if that's essentially necessary, but I have picked up problems in the past. Okay, so here we go. So we're going to go to start date. All right, start date over here, over there. So they're all the start dates, but then I may as well place the phase over and above that, okay, on top. There we go. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put cost there, and I'm going to put benefit there. Okay. All right. So now I have sum of cost, sum of benefit. All right. Now I'm going to generate a pivot chart and make sure it's a line chart. And there we go. We've got such a nice comparison over there. Now, there is something of a problem with the in lost in translation, because remember, with our resource names here, you get clusters of resources, which of course creates less flexibility for you, but there is some kind of slice and dice you can do here. So for example, if I were to insert a slicer on resources, okay, I would have some power. One would have to try and get around that and get single resources listed, but that's quite interesting. Just the builder and cupboards, etc. Builder plumber, yeah, not great. Okay, not great. All right, but there is some stuff there going on there. Right, so yeah, there we go. All right, so working with cost benefit analyses at a very basic